There are three choices that decide your life in your 30s and your 40s. The first choice is your environment. And your environment isn't just what's around you and who's around you, but it's who you choose specifically to be around you. Who do you watch in your spare time? Who do you read in your spare time? Who do you keep around? What friends do you meet? What family members? They say that you are a product of your environment, but you have the choice to change, remove, or add to your environment. Your environment isn't stagnant, it's not fixed. The biggest change I saw in people who were almost double my age was that from the time when they weren't picky with their environment, from the time when they would appeal to everyone and they would make sure that no one's upset or no one would get angry and they were just making sure that everyone else around them was happy, that's when they were the least happy in their own life. But the moment they shifted to focus on building an environment that was suited to them, instantly their life flipped from being so emotionally drained, burnt out, and tired to a huge increase in their happiness and how much energy they felt every single day. They no longer felt the naps that they needed around midday when you're so exhausted from talking and meeting with people and making sure that every friend, every family member is all good. But instead, by putting yourself first, you actually end up giving yourself the opportunity to take a step back and really look at where your energy is being drained at the most. Sometimes it's not even your work, it's not even your business. Sometimes it's just the people that you decide to keep around, or the people that constantly need to be felt, validated, and for you to make them happy. And as kids, when we're younger, we don't really think about what environment means, how important it is to keep the people around us that either give us energy or to distance ourselves from the ones who drain it. But instead, we kind of just let things be and don't focus on controlling our own environment, which really means to control where your energy is expended, where your energy is being transacted, or where you're gaining energy from. The second thing is, where does your time go outside of friends, family, and work? That's a choice of deciding where your time is going outside of that. When all your time is being invested in friends and family and your work, you hit a point where when friends get busy in their life, family is a little quieter, and your work has simmered down a little bit and you get time to yourself. Now you start to sit in this very empty life, because before you had just blocked out your life with people and work. So the minute you get time for yourself, now your world's crumbled apart. Now you don't know what to do. And so this was a huge thing for my own mom. When she started to fill her schedule up with things that were separate from friends and family, now there are things that don't keep her bored. Now there are things that keep her fulfilled. Now there are things that allow her to have direction in her life because she has her own projects, things that are specific to her. And so I've felt a clear difference of the importance of having time outside of family and work. And it doesn't have to be related to an outcome or tied to a money goal or a business goal. It doesn't have to be tied to the three eternal markets, which are health, wealth, and relationships. It can be something completely different. And usually in this sort of time, that's where you start to find your hobbies, the things you're passionate about, things that charge you up and give you energy outside of that. Because realistically, let's say you hit the gym, you're going to hit that maybe an hour a day, maximum 45 minutes. And you do that 3 to 4 times a week. Well, now you still got a lot of other time to do other things. You still have a lot of time to do a variety of different things. Instead of looking at reading a book or doing something that has no actual fruitful return, because you've probably read enough books and realized that at some point, how much more knowledge and information are you going to keep gathering? And so that actually leads us on to point 3, which is doing out of norm tasks or projects. Out of norm tasks and projects are things that look like exploring a different field and looking at something completely different to what you're already doing. That can look like writing a book, whether it's on your life, your expertise, your skill set, or something you're very interested in. That can look like something as simple as learning an instrument. The main goal of this time is to see something that gives you fuel, that energizes you, that outside of work, you find something that you have an obsession over, something that outside of work, you feel that besides my family, kids, work, and people around me, I have something else in my life that I also really enjoy, which is just a part of your time, your personal time. Now, maybe you do enjoy being around people. If you're super extroverted, then you might enjoy that your energy comes from people. But then it's important to pick what type of people. Is this something that you can teach? Was there something so pivotal in your life that you came through and went through that you can teach to someone else? For the sake of exploration, you can start with something light and fun. You can design a program for the sake of it. You can just build a curriculum around something that you might decide to do. What would the topics be? What would the foundation be? What would the core subjects be? The goal is to explore. Because when you're in your 30s and 40s, you often find that you've just spent the last 4 decades of experience, story, learning, all the way just to now become stagnant. And at some point, you've either gone through or you're about to hit the midlife crisis. And that's where people don't know what to do, what they want in life, where their time should go, because now the kids are independent. Financially, you might be stable, but now life feels empty because there's nothing to do. There's no crisis to fix. There's no drama to be a part of. And so when life gets quieter, this is a great phase. This is a great point of time for you to figure out who you really are now. What things do you enjoy? And now you're not meeting any societal expectations, and you're not focused on survival or building a support system, because most likely by now you already have that. And so now you have the freedom to focus on things that you want to do, that you can do. So if you can focus on these 3 decisions, these will dictate not what you do now, but which direction of life you can head in the next 3, 4, 5 decades of your life.